here, really more of a seasoning process than a firing process. Not like using your kiln at school or whatever. And so we've taken coals from the actual fire itself and brought them around.
Being
And
dried.
it acts kind of like a slow cooker. So just like your basic slow cooker, crock pot, whatever that you have at home, you allow the heat to rise up and go all the way around it, and it provides for an even cooking surface. In this pot over here, we've got some dyeing going on. I don't really have to keep it warm anymore. The main process of the dyeing is already done. I'm just kind of letting that sit. It's getting the ambient heat from the fire. You've also got a squash that's sitting there, as well as some smoked oysters that we're kind of cooking back up again, so that way we can eat them there on this flat rock. And then on top on this rack, we've got some croaker, some fish that's sitting there. And that's what we've been working on here. But we've got different tools and implements sitting out in front of me, so that way you guys can ask questions. Which one in particular? Because there's a couple different ones. We've got a tomahawk here. This is a monocoque right here. It's kind of like a wooden sword. You've got a couple different things for sewing, bows and arrows, arrow tips, different things for knives and farm implements and so on.
What's that? Like straw?
This guy?
Yes.
What does he look like?
A decoy.
It's a decoy. Yeah, he's a duck. He needs some feathers, but otherwise he's fine. It's used as a decoy. It's used to confuse the deer and the birds and all these other things.
Like
obviously this one, it's like a kite. Well, not a scarecrow. I'm not trying to scare them away. I'm trying to draw them in.
You're enticing the birds to land on them. Oh, you're
yeah, so I'm confusing them to draw them in. So we do have deer decoys, you've got ducks, you've got turkeys, you've got all these different decoys that you can use. So this one in particular is for a duck. I think he's going to become a mallard, but I'm not sure about that. And so you just put them out. They don't have the perfect eyesight. They've got pretty good eyesight, but not great. And so just like you were confused and you said, what's that? And you kept getting closer and closer and closer. That's what all the ducks are going to do. And so then once they get close enough, go ahead and shoot him with the
I
bow.
thought it had a weird angle. I thought it was like a weapon or something.
Yeah, I know. He does kind of look like a weapon when he's at a different angle, but made you come up and look at it though, didn't it?
Mommy, can I?
Got you close enough?
Absolutely.
And you sat still long enough for me to get you. Yeah.
What is that one with the seashell on the end?
What do you think I could use it for?
An axe.
An axe? Okay, I like the idea. Does it have any sharp grating thing on there? Maybe for drinking? That's a good idea. There is a lot of holes in
Killing stuff.
Killing stuff? Another good idea, but again, no sharp point. It's got a nice scoop though. I like the idea of drinking, but it's got holes in it.
Scraping the
Maybe
fur
for
off.
scraping the hide? How about
Digging.
Yeah.
Oh, you could use it in the garden.
You could use
There you
it to harvest wheat.
Not necessarily, well, not wheat. You're not going to be growing wheat if you're amongst Powhatans.
Yeah.
Wheat is a European food, but I like the idea. It is going to be used in the garden. This is a hoe. So we use hoes today, like if we're digging in our garden, and they're flat, right? They're a flat blade. And you can use a flat blade. Usually you're going to use like the scapula, which is like the bone that's in between your shoulders. And you use that part of the deer, or you can use a nice shelled hoe like this, and it works really well. And since it's got kind of a tip, but not a very sharp tip, I don't have to worry about it being a weapon. I don't have to worry about like really young kids using it, right? It's not dangerous. And it's got that nice scoop in there, so I can really
Just a
dig
seashell.
in and scoop up. It's just a seashell. So if I break it, what do?
Get another
Go
one.
get another
I
one.
get another one.
What's the tortoiseshell for, or is it a turtle?
I don't know if it's a tortoise.
You can
Tortoise or
also
turtle.
see
I'm not
that
a
they shaped flexible bark
this
and
one in particular.
That's what I was
laced it
looking at.
together
Oh, wow.
So it's got
to make
what I was
gathering
looking at.
bags.
A turtle bag. That's so cool.
Just like
That
you
was
guys
like a
might have
purse.
a hard shell bag or anything like that to carry your delicate
medicine.
items in there.
Your medicine.
Medicine in, anything like that. That's
Or
going to be
arrow
something like that.
tips, maybe?
Maybe, yeah, sure. Basically anything that you don't want to get crushed or broken. But you can use a wide variety of other bags, including whole animals. You can just make one out of a piece of leather. Again, we've got a quiver there that's made from a whole otter. It really just depends on what you're looking for.
So they
And
use
turtles
the
can be
otter
used for a
to
bunch of
carry
different ways. Obviously, you can
to
eat
carry
them for
their
food.
arrows.
You can use them as
We saw a
cups,
shield.
bowls.
Water. Very big one.
Yeah, so maybe you could use it as a shield. We don't have any examples of them being used as a shield, but that doesn't mean that
But you can see that it stops
yeah,
the
that's one of
arrowhead.
the big ones. That
Right.
we know that
So that's
they
proof
that
that it's
Powhatan would use
protection.
them as platters.
Okay.
And so that's what that one is
I
signifying.
thought it looked like it was.
But it does kind of look like a shield, right? So maybe we just don't have any written documentation.
So you
for
can
that.
see
I
that
can't
the
say
fire
that's
is being used
a
for
wrong
multiple
answer,
things
'cause
at one
It
time.
sounds reasonable to me. That's what the turtle uses it for. So why
The
not?
coals are being
I just can't
used
tell you 100%
for the
'cause I don't have
pots.
the answer to that one.
The fire itself is being used to cook some seafood, and
both.
then
So we've
the
got some cooking
elevated
going on.
part
We've got the squash that's kind
is
of roasting there, and you
smoking.
can't see it from where you are. But on the other side of the fire, we've got some oysters on a flat rock that are being roasted again. We've got these 2 croaker that are up here being smoked and dried, and then the other cooking that's going on is these pots. I'm not cooking anything in them yet because they're not food safe yet. They're partially fired but not completely fired, so I'm
curing them?
kind of curing them, seasoning them up. Yeah. So we're trying to get the water to a boil so that way we know how warm the actual pots are, and then once we do that, then we can fire them in the actual kiln. Yeah.
What are you using to dye the pot there?
That's black walnut. Is inside of that dye pot. Yes, we have a kiln on site. It is inside of our maintenance building, and we use it for making our pots. Yeah, we make just about everything that you see out on site. That is as historically accurate. We make it ourselves. Obviously, I can't make my shoes. They're not historically accurate. They're as close as I can get them while still following OSHA guidelines. Do have to abide by OSHA rules, though. So these are brought in. Some of our tools are brought in, but for the most part, we make just about everything we use.
I noticed skunk pout. Skunk skins here and there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't have been too pleasant to.
Well, the
Once you
thing
remove
is,
the
if you
sack.
get them before they know that you're there, then you don't really have an issue with them. And as long as you don't disturb the scent gland in the rear, you're okay too. But if you get the scent gland triggered, then yeah, it's a problem.
One of the not pout.